Welcome to Farming Fridays Week 5, Managing Your Distribution Resources. We've talked about so many different techniques that you're going to need to employ for your geographic farm area, but today I'm going to talk to you about exactly how to manage the way that you're going to get that word out on your newfound geographic farm. But first, I want to ask you one question. Does your real estate career have a foundation? Do you know on January 1st every year that you can count on your first $10, $20, $30,000 coming from one source of business? Do you have a plan, or are you just kind of winging it? Well, within Farming Fridays, we're going to teach you how to have a plan so that you know where that first amount of income is going to come from. My name is Carrie Fitzpatrick, and I am one of the lucky founders of the program being brought to you here today. I have a bachelor's degree in education, a master's degree in administration, and 30 years in residential real estate experience. The fun part about what I get to do is I get to couple my two careers, my education career, my teaching career, and my real estate career. I've either done it myself, managed someone who was doing it, or as I continue to do, dig into all the things, the latest and greatest technologies that are out there in order to sell real estate in today's day and age. So far on Farming Fridays, we have talked about how to pick and work your farm, dissecting your farming prospects, building your brand around neighborhood culture using annual events. This week, we're going to talk about in with the old and in with the new. Next week, we'll talk about your distribution team and how to manage them. And then in week 6, we're going to talk about how you can scale your economy so that you can build this thing deeper and wider. In week 1, we talked about the 3 simple rules. The 3 simple rules were to never enter a geographic farm area where one listing agent closes more than 25% of the listings in that farm area. Never project more than 10% capture of the listing side commission during your first year of your farm. We went a little deeper in that so that you know that you can capture more than that, but let's not project any more than that. And then number 3 was never spend more than 10% of your projected gross income on your farming activities. So those were our simple rules, and we went through them and I explained to you how to do it. If you'd like to learn how to do that and you haven't been to week 1, please go back and look for us on demand for week 1. Then in week 2, we talked about dissecting that farm area. We talked about building your binders and all the different categories and how you were supposed to look at what was going on in your farm area and do the homework that had you doing your due diligence. List the list pendants, the expireds, the for sale by owners, the absentee owners, the established residences, the people who've lived there forever, and possibly the empty nesters. All of that information is so important, and if you go back to week 2, you can find out why. And then in week 3, we talked about blueprinting. We talked about higher cost versus no cost versus lower cost ideas that you can use inside of farming. We're going to build each week on each thing that we're doing, and this week we're going to build on all that Facebook work and all that homework that you did last week. So last week I told you to create a Facebook business page. I told you to create a private group inside of Facebook for your neighborhood subdivision and to start inviting people that you knew lived there. Look for them, research them, find them. I'd also like for you to like us on Facebook and follow me on Facebook, Carrie Buning Fitzpatrick, and then invite me to your group. Invite me to follow your page so that I can see the things that you're doing. We talked about all the different things that you can do with Facebook, whether it being building rapport or having specific subdivision value things with your homeowner's news and your subdivision photos, community news that's going on, the soccer tryouts, and all the different things that are happening. I taught you that you should use the school calendar and you should do market updates, and also that you were to create an Instagram account for your subdivision and for yourself if you don't have one. I'd also like for you to follow us on Instagram. That's my Instagram name, so that you can follow me and I can follow you back. Let's start to build these things together. We talked about how to create a website and where you would go to get it for an inexpensive amount of money and how you could do all those different things. If you have not already done that, I suggest that you do, because everything that we do from this point forward is going to be based on the building blocks from everything that we've done. Summary of that: create a private group on Facebook, create a subdivision account on Instagram, buy a domain that represents your farm, and construct your master task lists and accountability deadlines. So I hope that you did all of that stuff. I got a bunch of great homework in. A bunch of people are sharing with me and following and tagging and liking. So seems like we're off to a pretty good start. We also talked about neighborhood newsletters and how you could get the information and how you could do that. We also talked about all the different events that you could have and all the different things that you could schedule. Your 4th of July flags, your 9/11 flags, your school calendars, Luminatias, your Halloween get-togethers, and how exactly for you to do that. Different things that you could post, like congratulating the graduating class of any given year or hosting a community-wide garage sale. And you'd be surprised at how aggressive people have become on their task management as I grade and check all these homework assignments. Then we went into all the different programs that you can use to send out email campaigns, to have A/B testing, all the different things that you can use, whether it be Instant Page, Unbounce, GoDaddy, or Facebook. We also talked about how you would classify that inside of your binder and sending better mail through MailChimp and the cost that it is, and how to collect that contact info and categorize your prospects, how to work within your Facebook business page or your Facebook private groups in order to gather more information, making that inventory update call or social media campaign update call, and how exactly to place ads inside of Facebook and reach the exact audience that you are looking to reach inside of your Facebook business page. We also talked about creating a monthly schedule and all the different things that you can do within that category. But I want to take a look at today is how to dominate your geographic farm area on a budget using creative ways to disseminate your farming materials. And that includes a lot of different ways. Digitally is one of them. So let's talk about week 5, managing your distribution team. Inside of our everyday occurrence or everyday life, the U.S. Postal Service has become a little less sexy, if you will. Nobody sends letters anymore. I think it's getting more back to it. People are starting to miss that whole thing. I watch all these shows on TV and I see, I watch the oldies and they're mailing letters and it takes a week for something to get there. But you know what? It's kind of neat when you get something in the mail that's hand addressed to you. The U.S. Postal Service also has this thing called informed delivery, and it will actually send you an email with pictures of every single thing that you're getting ready to get in your mailbox that day. Well, imagine if you had informed delivery like I do, and you had this letter that was inside of your mailbox that was hand addressed in blue ink with no return address name, just the return address and then it was mailed to that person. What do you think that would do? You think it would make you go to the mailbox and take a look at it? And if you did go to the mailbox without your informed delivery thing that the USPS has, then you would go and you would get it, and you would definitely open this piece of mail. So it is the highest cost open rate of all direct mail because it's 55 cents. But what I want you to do, or what we suggest, is that you send it to your expired listings, you send it to by owners, you send it to list pendants, and you hand address it. But I want to give you, it's a little more work, yes, and it's a little more expensive, yes, but it's got a higher readership. We used to send them out to our farm area twice per year. And we sent out this thing called the miracle letter because every time we would send it out, we would get all these phone calls requesting more information. One of the tricks that I have for your managing of your distribution team is, first of all, you don't have to write them. Nobody knows if that's your handwriting or not, so you can get somebody else to do it. But if you're committed to the process and you've time blocked for this, one of the things that you can do is you can hand write your return address. So whatever your return address is, you hand write it and you hand it to your printer, and you have your printer print it in blue ink in the return address section of that envelope. So then you're not hand writing your return address every single time on that envelope. But we highly suggest that you mail it out once or twice a year inside of your farm, whether you be promoting something, an upcoming event, or whether you're using it as a way to talk to your expired listings, your absentee owners, your buy owners, your list pendants. Hand addressed in blue ink letter is very highly effective inside of your farm area. And tip, you can have somebody else hand address it, and or if you time block, have your printer pre-print the return address so that you don't have to do that every single time. Another direct mail piece that you're going to want to do is postcards. There are people in this industry who make $500,000 a year. It's simply by virtue of them sending a postcard twice a month. That's it. They send and they go out. Let me tell you this, guys. They go out and they hire people to do it. But we are all about this spend a dime, make a dollar mentality. So I want to share with you a way that you can do it that's way easier. But I want to make sure first that you have done everything that you were supposed to have done, which is every single subdivision specific domain name is on all of your contact print, hand delivered, mailed, or digital communication. You have all these new things that you just created, right? You made your Facebook page, you have your domain specific subdivision name, you have all of these things. Make sure that it is always on it. Number 2, I have invited every contact to my private Facebook group, and I'm growing in penetration as a percentage of the residences. I have affiliated with LinkedIn with every available resident that I could find. And remember, this is a process. This isn't something that you should say, oh yeah, I've done it all. Because you're going to have to find these people. You're going to, over time, connect with more of them. More of them are going to like your stuff. More of them are going to do all those things. You're going to get more email addresses from your residents. You're going to be able to have them subscribe in your MailChimp account so that you can send out your newsletter sometimes digitally and sometimes you can have them hand delivered, and I'm going to show you exactly how that can happen. But the thing that you need to do, or make sure that you have done, is that you have made notes on every single contact regarding ownership intentions, upgrades, or other memorable things that have gone on. Remember I told you sometime, I don't remember when, but I told you that if you go and you see somebody putting on a new roof, go make a notation of that in your binder. It's conversation starters for your next phone call that you're going to make. Because remember, we're having you make phone calls twice a year for social media surveys, for inventory surveys, and just to say hi. So we want you to have those notes in your book so that you can have conversations that mean something more than, hey, you want to sell your house? Now, of course, that's going to be your end conversation. Do you know anybody who wants to move or is thinking about moving in the next 6 months? Could I get their information or could you give them mine? But when you're having these conversations, you want it to be a soft footprint kind of conversation so that it's not a cold call. It's just a light conversation. Make sure that your postcard has all this stuff on it and that it promotes your private Facebook group. And then it offers the newsletters and the value reports. But let me show you something really neat that not a whole lot of people know about. You know, back in the day when we were doing postcards, we would either have to hire a service for a lot of money, or we had entire classes about how to bulk mail. And those classes were long because your labels had to be printed exactly the exact way that it was supposed to be. Your label had to be placed in the exact location that it was supposed to be at. Not only that, but you had to have the special boxes, and they had to be categorized and grouped by the last 4 digits of that zip code. You know, it's the 5-digit zip code dash and then the last 4. They had to be grouped by certain things inside of that. And it was just all these rules. And then you had to take those boxes and you had to drive them to the post office and you had to drop them off and you had to stand there and you had to make sure that it was done properly and hope and cross your fingers that you did it properly so that you could get your direct mail out. Well, I guess the U.S. Postal Service decided that people didn't really need or want to do that. So they came up with a system. They came up with a program that you could do that costs comparable to what the regular bulk mailing system used to cost, but with a way less time. So it's called Every Door Direct Mail. And it's really, really exciting and cool. And it's a distribution team item. How does it work? So you decide that you're going to do it. You sign up for a USPS account, and then you look for Every Door Direct Mail inside of USPS.com. You go to the EDDM mapping tool, which is right there on the lower left-hand side of your screen, and you click on that. When you click on that, you're going to get a availability of selecting your routes, if you will. So not your roots like plants, but your mail routes. So what I did was I put in the zip code of the subdivision that I've been showing you the entire time, right? It was one of my old farm areas. And then it pulled that whole zip code up and it shows me a map. Well, this is my farm area, or was, but if this is your farm area, you know exactly where it is. You know how to find it on the map. Once you put in the zip code, you know what it looks like, you know what it's shaped like, and you can find it very, very easily. So what I did was I clicked on all the different parts of that subdivision that I wanted to mail to, and it tells you, if you look there, I don't have it on this screenshot, but it tells you what the route number is. It tells you, if it asks you, do you want residential or residential and business? Of course, we just want residential. It tells you what the total is. Then it tells you how many people are in that area that are between the ages of 25 and 64, and it's got different ways. So you can select the age bracket that you want to look at. It'll say there's 55% that are that. Then it tells you what the size is, so how many pieces that are going to go into that area. In addition to that, it tells you what the average income is of the people that live in that area. And then it tells you how much it's going to cost. So if you look here, we've got 954 pieces going out for approximately $178.40. $178.40 for 954 pieces. Well, do that math. It's one post office drop off. So literally you have to take your postcards and you drop them off at the post office, and you don't have to do all of that other stuff that we had to do back in our day. So think about that. It's 18.7 cents per postcard to mail using Every Door Direct, and you don't have to do any other work except for go in here, select your zip code, find your farm area, and then you get to click through that says continue. You pick the date that you want to drop it off. Then you say, do I want to pay for it at the post office, or do I want to pay for it online? And that's it. Then you take your 954 pieces, you drop them off at the post office of your choosing, and they do all the work for you. They send out your bulk mail and they do all that stuff. Now, I know that I'm a little animated about this, but I did all that stuff. So because I was doing all that stuff, I know how big of a deal this thing is. Enough said about that. So let's move on to another piece that you can do and a different way that you can distribute that or manage this distribution team. Look, I have managed a lot of people that did this. Not only have I managed a lot of people that did this, I used to do it in my farm area. Now, it depends on your farm area whether or not you have to do postcards, whether or not you're going to do it depends on your budget, right? 18.7 cents. So let's think about that. That's direct mail. That's bulk mail that's going to be in somebody's mailbox. I talked about 55 cents for hand-addressed enveloped letters, and that's just for the postage, not for the printing. Now, we talked about 18.7 cents. Now, let's talk about door hangers. Some subdivisions don't allow you to do door hangers, and some are higher end, so high end that it would be almost insulting to the homeowners if you stuck a door hanger on their door. But if you have chosen one that is a door hanger type community, then when you're doing your door hanger, please make sure that your door hanger has a subdivision name on it, so it's actually specific to that subdivision, and has your subdivisionname.com on it, promotes your private Facebook groups, and offers the newsletter and value reports as an upsell to them inside of your farming activities. But let's take a look at how you can find people to deliver your door hangers. So when you're going to do your delivery and you're trying to find someone to do it for you, what I want you to do is go to Google, because Google is your friend, and say door to door flyer delivery and then the county that you're in. You know, the pricing that we have found in the past is if you're going to do 1,000 units, it's about 15 cents each. So now you can do door hangers for 15 cents each for delivery, or you could do direct mail with the Every Door Direct for the US Postal Service with a postcard for 18 cents, 18.7 cents. So you have to make that choice of whether or not. And as you go higher up in units on your door hanger delivery, typically it will go down in price per unit. But go in, create your door hangers. We have templates for you at Annie Mac Works for door hangers. We have templates for postcards. We have templates for your newsletters. We have templates for all this stuff for you. But remember, everything is negotiable. So if you sign a monthly agreement with, a door hanger delivery company, then perhaps they're going to give it to you for a little less because you're now signing a monthly agreement where you said, okay, for the next 6 months, for the next year, I'm going to use you to do this door hanger delivery. But there's another way to do it that's for maybe somebody who either A, doesn't have the money to do it inside of their farm area, or B, wants to get some exercise. I mean, look, I ran 2 miles this morning, and if I still had a farm area, don't you think that I would take the time to use that if I'm going to take a walk anyway, to go and shake hands and deliver them myself? And a lot of times if somebody's hand delivering door hangers, by the way, they're probably walking through the neighborhood saying, please don't come outside, please don't come outside, please don't come outside. But the best salespeople want the person to be there so that they can hand deliver that if they are going to do it themselves. We used to do it all the time where we would hand deliver our own door hangers until we got to the point where we didn't have to do it anymore. But sometimes we would just go out and take a bunch of them and do it ourselves as a piece of our exercise. If you have an Apple Watch, it tells you, look, in your activity app, it says you have to get up and move for like 30 minutes a day at least, right? So if you're one of those people that doesn't get up and move 30 minutes a day, make that part of your routine. Make it so that you get up and you move for at least 30 minutes a day delivering door hangers. So you're killing two birds with one stone. So the other thing that you can do, say you don't have an Apple Watch and you don't want to get up 30 minutes a day and you don't want to exercise, but you don't want to pay somebody to do it either. You don't want to pay a delivery company to do it either. Well, the other thing that you can do is you can enroll your niece or nephew. Do you have kids? Do you have children that live maybe in your neighborhood or down the street, or kids of friends or stuff like that you could have to do it? What kid today doesn't need 10, 20, $30 to go get some exercise? Maybe pull them away from their Xbox and get them out moving and doing something and making a little bit of money and having a little bit of pride while they're getting some exercise. I used to work for a guy whose kids used to also work for him, and one of the things that I really respected about him is that all of his children worked, and they all worked in the real estate industry. But they used to make fun and talk about the fact when he had a lawn service company prior to being original owner for a real estate company, that they would have to hand deliver flyers for him every single month. And they talked about it when they were 10, 12 years old, and they would have to go out and hand deliver it. And you know what? I will tell you that if it's your own kids, now this is just me being on my parental soapbox for a second and my real estate soapbox all at the same time. But I'm telling you, if you have your kids do it and you do it as a family event, which we used to do with our newsletters, by the way, they're going to have a better work ethic in the future. Not only are they going to have it so because they've done it themselves, maybe they're earning a few bucks, maybe they're earning some extra TV time later on, maybe they're earning all these different things, but they're also seeing what you're willing to do in order to provide for them. They're also seeing that you're willing to, everything, your career to your kids is this hypothetical thing. They see you on the phone a lot and they're like, whoa, I guess mom, dad talks on the phone all day. That's what they do for a living. Something with houses, but I don't know. But have them go out and help you to deliver your door hangers or your newsletters or put the flags in the ground or things like that. They're going to have a deeper respect for you and for work in general. That's just my opinion on that piece, by the way. But I don't care how you have to get them out, you need to get them out. So your door hangers, your newsletters, your flags, all the different things that you're going to hand deliver that meet your geographic farm blueprint, right? Because we never want you to do more. Like, I don't want you to come on here and say, I got to do a newsletter, I got to do flags, I've got to do door hangers, and I have to do postcards, and I have to do this. And then you're spending 30 cents for a dollar instead of a dime for a dollar. Remember, everything that we're teaching you is spend a dime, make a dollar. That's what we want you to do. We want you to spend that dime and make that dollar. So we're trying to give you ways that you can get the most for that dime in order to get that dollar. There is another way to do it. Funny enough, what if there was a roofing company inside of your geographic farm that did some work inside of that area? And not only did I told you you could get people to advertise on the back of your door hanger, but what if you didn't charge them to advertise on the back of your door hanger? What if that wasn't their pay? What if you had a roofing company that wanted the backside of your door hanger and they did it in exchange for them delivering every single month? What if that's what they did instead of giving you money? What if you were able to get those door hangers delivered and they had a business size card post on the back of your door hanger? What if then you also had a lawn maintenance company that wanted the backside of your door hanger and they did that in exchange for delivery every month, or you did that in exchange for delivery every single month? Think about that. A guy has some people in the neighborhood cutting cutting grass, right? So they have these people in the neighborhood, they're cutting grass, and they have maybe 2 in the neighborhood. Well, don't you think they would want 5 or 6? They don't have to drive to the next location. In the time that it would take them to drive to another location, they could get a whole nother lawn inside of that area cut and charge for that. So it's going to save them money in the long run. So of course they would want to keep it that way as well. And when you're talking to them about delivering your door hangers for you so that you don't have to do it and you don't have to pay to have it done, point that out to them. Hey, wouldn't it be very beneficial to you if you had more lawns to cut in this neighborhood? Because the 30 minutes that you would be spending cutting or driving to your next location, you could get a another lawn done each week for that. So if your guys have downtime, if your guys are in a neighborhood and maybe they have an hour to spend, have them deliver door hangers for you to every single person in that area. Now, if you're going to have other people deliver door hangers for you, I need you to have them text you when it's going on. So I don't want you to just trust, right? So you could trust but verify. When you're making these deals with people, when the pool guy is going out and doing his delivery, he's in a neighborhood, maybe he gets 5 houses in right in a row, and then he's got a little bit of extra time and he's going to go deliver the door hangers for that area. What I want you to say is, when you're delivering the door hangers, I would like for you to please text me so that I know that they're going out. So I would like them to go out sometime between this date and this date. I was going to make a date, but for some reason I couldn't even pull a date up. Like, say I want my door hanger to go out like November 1st to sometime between November 1st and November 10th. But text me on the day that you're going to do it. And the reason that is because at any time during that day, what that I then want you to do is drive through that neighborhood. You're going to see one door hanger out there at least, right? So you're not going to see them all because some people would have come home from work or some people will have taken them off the door. But you can rest assured, if you see like 5 door hangers on random doors inside of your area, then you're going to be able to know that those door hangers were delivered. So trust but verify, right? So it's just, trust me, it's something that I've learned. There were times when we trusted and didn't verify, and then there were times when we trusted and verified, and we knew that our stack of door hangers were in a dumpster somewhere. So just know that there's a risk in anything that you do. So trust but verify. And we didn't have text messages back then, so it was they had to give us a call. They would let us know. We would drive out there. We would watch it. We didn't do it while they were there because we didn't want them to think that we didn't trust them, whatever. But definitely at some point somebody went by the neighborhood to just make sure that there were some door hangers hanging on some doorknobs. But what if you created this like alliance to honor the entire subdivision? What if you had the pool guy offer some special offer? First month free for Wyndham Lakes residences. Free lawn maintenance with a CMA. What about free pool maintenance the whole time your house is listed? Well, I mean, I wouldn't do that if it wasn't priced right, right? But there's this one guy that does it in our neighborhood where he offers pressure cleaning services, he offers inpatient services, he offers fresh mulch while the house is being listed. Now, they have to meet certain criteria, right? It can't be an overpriced dog because then you're going to spend money and you're never going to sell the house. It has to be a well-priced home that the owner's motivated where you're going to offer these things. But you're going to go in there and you're going to get in that living room and you're going to make that determination. Based on this price, I can offer you this, this, or this. What if it free pool, free lawn, a roof inspection when they listed with you? You can offer that inside on the back of your door hanger. And then for that, obviously, they're going to get that roof inspection. That pool company is going to get paid, but if you create this relationship with that pool company, you're going to get a discounted rate, right? So there's all different creative ways that you can achieve much while appearing to achieve little. Yep, that's a Benjamin Franklin quote. There's another way too. So pre-listing drop-offs they're out of they're out of favor, a lot of people are saying, is it worth it? Well, I think it is. And there's a way that you can do it. So maybe you've done a pre-listing CMA. Maybe you've created a WORX Suite digital marketing brochure for them and you want to put it on a disc and you want to bring them the virtual tour because you went and took some pictures. You found some pictures. Maybe it was an expired listing and you found some of the pictures online and you were able to create that pre-listing drop-off. You have a newsletter for expireds, right? Maybe you get really entrenched in your geographic subdivision and you decide that every single morning for expireds you have an expired listing newsletter, and instead of going out and sending it in the mail you have it hand delivered by a courier. A courier? Really, Carrie? That's what you're telling me, to hire a courier? Yep, that's what I'm telling you. No, that's not what I'm telling you at all. Think about this. Your assistant can be your courier. Your dad can be your courier. Your sister can be your courier. The only thing that you are going to need to do is get a hat, right? Get a baseball hat, any color. It could even be your color, your favorite color. It could be pink, it could be blue, it could be anything you want. Go to Steinmart, TJ Maxx, whatever, get a button-down courier looking shirt and make a clipboard, right? You need a clipboard, you need a pen, you need a hat, and you need the item. Is it a disc that's got recorded on it your digital marketing brochure and something that's about you? Is it a actual paper CMA? Is it a newsletter? Is it just a regular old letter in an envelope that says, a courier dropped this off? I have a delivery from you from Mrs. Carrie Fitzpatrick from Coldwell Banker Residential Real Estate. Can I get your initial here that you received it on this piece of paper? Well, how much do you look like you've got your act together if you're sending a courier? And it's not a $35 fee for a courier to go out there. It's just your assistant, your dad, teenage child, or a 20-year-old child, a 20-something that you've got that needs a couple of extra bucks. And you can say, look, I need you to drop these 5 things off at these 5 different addresses. And I need you to put on this shirt and this hat and carry this clipboard and speak of me in the highest regard. Because this is going to be how I pay for your college tuition next month, right? So a courier is a very interesting and innovative way for you to have inside of your distribution team. You can deliver your door hangers yourself. You can have your door hangers delivered by somebody else. You can pay somebody to do it. You can have your mom, your sister, your brother. You can get some exercise and do it yourself. You can also go to different companies in order to do your postcards where they're going to charge you a whole lot money for something that the U.S. Postal Service already does for you. Because the people who are still doing it the old fashioned way and don't do the research to find out the newest and latest things are still paying maybe 25 cents per postcard for delivery fee. And they're saying, but we have to do all the bulk mail stuff and all that stuff, when in all actuality, they're not even doing that. They're just going to the direct mail thing at the United States Postal Service. So all of these things are part of your distribution team and how you manage that distribution team. But when you're doing that and you're managing your postcards, you're managing your door hanger delivery, just make sure that when they're doing it, that you know what's happening where, and that you're not having too many things hit at the same exact time. What do I mean by that? Say you've got maybe you've worked it up to where you've got, 5 different subdivisions, right? So now you've got a pool guy in the one subdivision who's doing your delivery, and then you've got a lawn guy in another subdivision that's doing that delivery, and then you've got a roofing guy in another subdivision that's doing that delivery. I mean, we even had this one person who had a pet sitting service, and they exchanged their business card in order for them to do our delivery so that they could get advertising inside of our newsletter, and they did our delivery, right? So there's all kinds of different places and people that are interested in advertising inside of these neighborhoods. The opportunity is infinite to get this stuff done for you. The opportunity is infinite to have deliveries made because you can send anybody that you want. When you're sending out your courier, it could be anybody except for you. You cannot be your own courier. You can't have, putting on a mask or pretending like you're not you. So that concludes managing your distribution team. And I hope that you will join us next time for Spend a Dime, Make a Dollar, and start to duplicate the process. So I'll see you next time on Farming Fridays, where we're helping you to build a foundation for your real estate career. Have a great day.